Hey guys, welcome to Quinn's Tree Farm, coming to you straight through the power YouTube Brave from Quennville, Maine. Today we are at my Fryeburg Fair tree. This is going to be my balsam fir, I believe. It's going to be what I would call a bracted balsam from the looks of it, and I'm really excited to send it down. It's got a lot going for it, and I'm really excited to get it trimmed up. So the first thing we're gonna do is very lightly trim this tree up. So see this right here? Not using that. We're gonna do this one by hand. So what I wanna do is I wanna really lightly, take a little bit of stragglers down and get it evened out. For the most part, we're going to leave a lot of it alone. So things like this, I think that should probably come out. I want to get that all the way back. The goal is I'm going to try to hide those, obviously, and they'll seal up. Any damage here? That little guy's damaged. Something like this over here obviously needs to go. Take that out. And we're doing this in early August, and the fair is in October, late September, early October. And the reason we're doing it now is so that these will have a chance to seal up. That's kind of my goal in cutting these out. And we're just going to go around the tree and just take a look at what we want to get rid of. Now, I like leaving some of these long ones out simply because if this was a Christmas tree, they would provide places where you can hang decorations, and it gives it a much more real look as opposed to the perfect fake plastic things that we don't talk about. So that's what we're going to do at first, and then I'm just coming in here and seeing if we can take some of this and clean it up a little bit. You know, I have there's two dead ends there. Well, that doesn't look good. So we can pull one of them. And I'm going to bring that back. Kind of get those hidden a little bit. Obviously, trees are like people. And none of them are going to be perfect. But we're looking for that perfect for you tree. I want to go in and I want to make sure to cut out any of this damage in here. Get rid of that. We don't want that stuff in. And don't worry, when we cut it, obviously I'm going to run it through the tree shaker and make sure all that stuff gets out, and we can cut that sort of stuff out at that point. I'm going to run some fertilizer over this. I want to make sure that the color stays nice and blue like it is. And I'm just really excited to send this one down. We do have to do some top work on this. First of all, I made my flag very loose because I didn't want to choke anything out. Now the top is going to be even. So I want to have those tops to be pretty much even. And those look pretty good. They're going to be even, and I think we can go right there. And then we have to have an appropriate length leader. It can't be too long and it can't be too short. And which leader do we choose? Well, my thought is we're going to choose this leader here. Mainly because if you look, it sits at the top. It's higher than this one, although this one isn't bad either, and it's a little bit stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this one out. And I'm going to pray that this doesn't break over the next 60 days when the fair is. This one, I'm going to take back. A little bit more. And then I'm going to take my knife. This is a 10-inch handle. I'm just going to come up a couple more inches and cut it off. Why did I go to 12 inches? So one of the things that I saw last year in the form, and I'll share a copy when I edit this together, was appropriate leader length. So I'm going to do a 12-inch leader on this. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go look at USDA tree grading requirements. I haven't done that yet. My assumption is that they're obviously not going to want anything longer than a 12-inch leader. I can take a little bit more off when we get closer to the date, but as of now, that's what's going to stay so it can get nice and strong and be ready. You know, the thing about this is the more I look at it, the more I walk around, the more I'm going to want to clip things off. I do have one little problem. I am going to give people a window to beat me. I do have a gap here, so undoubtedly I'm going to lose points here. Maybe if I come across a tree that's in the same shape as this, down the line that doesn't have that, maybe this will just go out for a premium Christmas tree. One of the things I really like about this tree is the taper. So one of the things that I've noticed at the fair with winning Christmas trees is the taper is typically like maybe like a 40 to 45 degree angle. And if you do the math on a triangle on what an appropriate taper is, what they're looking for, which is typically between, I think it's like a 40 and a 70% taper, that puts you in that 45 degree angle. I actually found a website where you can measure how tall your triangle is and how wide the bottom should be to get the appropriate taper. But we're really looking for like that 45 degrees. We don't want them too fat or too skinny. And I really think that this fits that nice, natural, tight, conical shape. So that was really what caught my eye on this initially. And then the color, it's got really good color. And that's why I'm gonna add fertilizer to just kind of keep that color strong so that in September, when it's time to cut it, we'll be good to go. The last thing I want to do to this is get it basil pruned. I want that stump, the tree trunk, to be nice and clean and have a couple of days, a couple of months to let those scars heal up a little bit so they don't look quite so fresh. Now the trunk on I did see this, the trunk is supposed to be between 6 and 9 inches. So I'm going to do the same thing. I would take this and I got 10 inches. We're going to come up 10 inches. That will give enough room for us to cut it at the base when it's time to go, and then maybe trim it down a little bit if we have to. I'm going to do this all by hand, and we're just going to go right in there. I got my hand clippers, and I'm gonna pull this stuff right out. I really like basil pruning. I know there's people out there that say it's a waste of time. I'm sure in production it is more difficult to keep up on it. But at the end of the day, I really think it makes a better tree. And you're not messing around with this stuff. See, this is good for soil. This is This is why I leave. I try to leave as much stuff in the field as I can because that just rots in and makes for a nice growing platform. Now ideally, if I had set this up years ago with the basil pruning, these would all cover over as scars. You could see some of them here. Just like any tree, when you cut it right off the bat, it's all gaudy and ugly and have fresh scars. As they heal up, they go away, and that's good. But this tree didn't get that, so we're doing it now. I'm really happy with this field, this block, and I have some nice trees that are going to go out this year. All right, so I got my stick, and it's 10 inches long, and I'm just gonna slowly slide it up there. So that leaves about 10 inches. And I'll be able to cut it here at the base, a nice bottom cut, and that's gonna leave a nice stump. And from the looks of it, I'm gonna have a very nice Christmas tree. So I'm happy with that. So if things go right, this is gonna be Quinn's Tree Farm's Blue Ribbon Balsam. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of really good competition out there, and I'd be happy with a second, third, or even fourth place ribbon. I didn't place last year in the Balsam Fir. We got 5th in the Fraser. We'll have to go over. I got a couple of Frasers I want to look at and get another one out there, but this is what I'm setting the bar for, guys. So if you have something that's good, bring it on. Okay, so this is about the only part that I'm just spitballing here. And I've mixed up some liquid fertilizer, pretty soft mix, and I'm just trying to put a little bit on the tree to see if I can get that color to stick and be solid. And we're just gonna water the tree. And my idea is that fertilizer will get in on those needles and the foliage and be good for it. So I don't think it's heavy enough. What I'm putting on isn't heavy enough that it should burn it, which then I'll feel like a jerk if I ruined the tree that I wanted to send. But hopefully it will cause this tree to just continue to thrive, and it will be ready for the Fryeburg Fair. So it's an absolutely beautiful day out today. And as always, you know, I'd really rather feel bad in Maine than feel good anywhere else. And I feel really good in my tree field. So there you go, my friends. I'll see you soon.